Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is TMI, Sunday's edition, the very first edition for the week. Well, it's all about profiling Nigerians' debts and the Nigeria relations, because people are saying that this is becoming a little bit disturbing. Others are saying that, look, it's good for us to be our brother's keeper. Someone's saying you have to have enough before you talk about orders outside. But it may interest you to know that our debt profile as a nation has risen up to over 41 trillion naira. Yeah, and that is quite the disturbing. Foreign reserve reduced, and it's like Nigerians have been complaining about it bitterly. We want to really take a look at this. Don't forget also about the over $1 billion naira that was sent to Niger Republic, and that has set tongue wagging, because right now Nigerians are talking about it seriously. Anyway, with me here in the studio to throw more light on this, I have political analyst, a politician, and entrepreneur. Join me to welcome Dr. Samson Isibo. Welcome to TMI on this edition. I appreciate your coming. All right.
Good morning, viewers.
The next is a legal practitioner, a human rights activist, public affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Barrister Gabriel Ehigato. Welcome to TMI.
Thank you, Mr. Fuabolo.
All right. And the one at my extreme left is a young man, an entrepreneur, a politician, Ojo Imafido. Welcome to TMI on this edition.
Good morning, Wilson.
All right. Now let's take a look at our debt profile. From 30-something trillion now to 41 trillion. And Nigerians are worried. Even we have this insinuation that from the way things are going, we are on a shaky ground. We talked about servicing the interest of the debt, and here we are also trying to bite more than we can chew by being our brother's keeper. Ojo, I want to start off with you. What do you feel about the current Nigerian situation in regards to the debt profile?
Well, thank you very much, Wilson. All over the world, there is no country that is not growing. Let me start from there. And then when we look at the debt ratios by, let's say, by continents, Africa is the least in terms of debt, indebted countries. Let me put it like that. Then let's come back to Nigeria. Borrowing is not supposed to be an issue if our leaders are using the money borrowed judiciously. We were told the other time that about 25% of our budget is used for servicing of our debt, which is just too wrong. I don't know how to put it. I don't know if we really have leaders, or these people are just, they were sent from here to really to oppress us, and to because if you look at the leaders we have, they don't have conscience. Because if really the budget, the debt we are having, if they are really using it well, let's say for business, let's say for financial gains, like not for social infrastructure. You see our government borrowing money to build bridges to our neighboring countries, which this money, all these infrastructures, they don't bring back revenue, yes, profits. I think we are using those debts for let's say to build refineries in this country. We won't be disturbed if maybe we're still borrowing more money. Look at Japan, for example. They are the highest countries right now in terms of debt, followed by the United States. But we all know how those economies is growing every day.
All right. I'll come back to you, Ojo Imafido. Barrister Gabriel, you heard him. He said, well, if you take a look at the world, generally speaking, Africa in terms of debt, it's like we are the lower ebb. But when we come to Nigeria, we've talked about debt increasing 41 point something trillion. But if you take a look at the American debt profile, is quite high. Japan also is quite high. But they are not complaining, because according to reports, it's like they're doing something that we are not doing. Take it up from there. How do you feel about this?
Well, it's ironic, it's unfortunate that Nigeria as a nation has slid into this scenario we found ourselves, this quagmire. One would have expected that as a developing nation, we cease to tag ourselves. we should have developed and overstaged this current situation. International Monetary Fund, the Debt Management Office of Nigeria, the National Bureau of Statistics, and other economic handcons of this country that we have warned Nigeria over time in regards to borrowing. By last year, Nigeria debt profile was about 39.56 trillion. Trillions are not billion, trillion. By December last year, 2021. And by this year, at the beginning of this year, between January to March or April, which was the first quarter of the year, the National Bureau of Statistics and the Debt Management Office of Nigeria also came up with analysis that our debt profile increased to about 41.6 trillion. And the question is, all this money borrowing, upon borrowing that we are doing, what exactly are we using it for? Where is the reflection of this money we are borrowing? Has it reflected in social infrastructure? Has it reflected in the academic sector? Has it reflected in our standard of living as citizens of Nigeria? It has not. Obviously, it has not. All we have on TV every day is that government borrow, Senate approve, the president borrow. If I even got to the extent that the Senate will never approve any longer, the president can go ahead and borrow. That is the situation we find ourselves. And it is very, very unfortunate. There is no nation in the world that does not borrow. As a matter of fact, borrowing is part of, who we are taught in economics, that borrowing is part of the strategy of developing your business and building your capacity. So there is no nation in the world that does not borrow. But the issue is not just borrowing. What exactly are you using the borrowed money for? As I said earlier, Nigeria have continued to exist in recession. We are not out of recession. Today they will tell us that we are technically out of recession. Tomorrow they say that we are physically out of recession. Next month they say we are economically out of recession. They don't just beat the economy and the people here and there. Nigeria still exists in recession. Despite the debt profile, despite the borrowing, we are still in recession.
All right. Dr. Sampson, PhD, yeah, you've heard them. Olusegun Obasanjo, former president, was able to talk his way through, and our debt was cancelled. All right, and we have a president, Muhammadu Buhari. It's like, if you want to compare or contrast, maybe his cabinet don't have the finesse or the words to use to beg these persons to cancel our debts. And here we are still going out there to borrow, according to reports, even borrow to service debt. How did we really get here?
Well, thank you very much. Though I'm not an economist, but in the layman's view, this debt that is hanging our neck in this country is uncalled for. You rightly said, that during Obasanjo's time, they virtually cancelled the debt we were owing. And we applauded him through that Minister of Finance, Ngozi Uwela. We were standing on our feet, but subsequent regimes, especially Jonathan something, the situation turns, and we started borrowing. Why are you borrowing? Why we didn't see what they use the money for? That is the pathetic thing that we did. Until this one, the last borrowing figure is 41 trillion. What is it? How many are we in this country that we were owing 41 trillion? If you divide it on everybody, I think me would be owing almost 100 million so per each head. So what do we use the money for? According to this, my friend, what we can't see anything. They were just borrowing with impunity, and the lame duck National Assembly people, they are under his whims and caprices. Whatever it says, oh yeah, sign. So since we find ourselves in this situation, it has been very, very, very bad for the masses.
Very bad.
Things are going higher and higher. Inflation here everywhere. Unemployment is going higher. What did we use this money for? And to crown it off, insult upon injury, we are now Father Christmas, doling out not millions, billions to other foreign countries. What have we to gain from all these things? So it's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation. It's uncalled for.
All right. Now, despite the fact we have this noose around our neck, talking about our debt profile, some will be like we should have been cautious, but it's like we have so much to give. All right, and here we are doling out money to Niger Republic to the tune of 1.4, 1.1 billion given to Niger Republic. Now, in the state that we are in right now, is that supposed to be the right move by Mr. President?
Is the question directed to me?
Yes, to you.
For now, you know we are in election year, and we should be expecting more of these, should I say, expose? Yes. Because this government has been in place for like 6 years now, about this year should be 7th year.
7th year.
And then once this government, once they leave office now, we will start seeing some of the secrets that were kept away from us till now. Now, the president giving out about 1.4 billion to buy SUVs for Niger Republic, which is at about 140 million naira per one of the car. That is not supposed to be a problem, because even like I said just now, America debt profile is very high, but they still give us hate. Today we are poor countries. Niger to us, they are poor countries. But because of the trust, we don't have the trust for our government anymore. That's why whatever they do right now, we always look at it from another point of view. And the president we have right now, like what my friend here said just now, that presently the president can just borrow and nothing will, he won't even go to the National Assembly. So the president, I don't know the difference between the presidency and the president, because these days they will tell you it's the presidency and him. So now he does things without even, to me, it's like he doesn't care anymore. The other, we're talking about the one he gave to Niger Republic. The other day I heard he gave Taliban about $1 million.
That's just speculation.
No, it's real.
No, speculation. Let's limit our speculation.
Gave him about $1 million.
Yeah.
And then doing all this, it's as if we don't, the masses, we don't matter to these people. They just do it their own way. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
Why would you give, why would you borrow from, let's say, China and give to a sovereign nation like Niger, who can also borrow from this same China to do whatever thing they want to do, and at the same time we are not justifying it, telling us to our face that Mr. President can, if you listen to what the Minister of Finance said, she said the president is his own prerogative to do whatever he wants to do, because he has his own security, intelligence, or how do they put it. So they are doing it to our face and they are telling us, go, there's nothing we can do.
All right, there's nothing we can do. As a legal practitioner, from what you rightly said, America is heavily indebted, especially to China, but still they still have a kind of, a comfort for us Africans, because I will go cap in hand begging America, they still give you loans, give you grants, give you aids. You understand? I mean, so what's so wrong in giving to Niger?
Well, a lot is wrong in giving to Niger at this critical time. Nigeria have evolved to become a Father Christmas, who has his on fire, but decided to savage the neighbor's house. That is where we find ourselves. Currently, also is on strike. Currently, the national grid have gone down. People do not even have electricity to even watch on life now as we are speaking. Our roads are in a disreputable place. Our roads have become death trap. Increment of food stop is on the daily, if it's on per hours or per seconds. And we are borrowing to give to Niger. It's unfortunate. Even the way our mother, the president, borrowed the money, I even gave it to Niger. Because it's more insult. That the National Assembly were put aside. That group protocol were put aside. That the order of borrowing and giving out money, the order of accessing money out for the national conference was put aside simply because a man is the president of a nation and he occupied the office put together called presidency. It is disheartening. What is the president's interest in Niger? I know over time the president has said it, even on national TV, that his first cousins are from Niger. So is that now an excuse to give Niger such amount of money when we have our own issue to resolve? Are you trying to encourage every individual who become president of Nigeria tomorrow, who probably have a traceable lineage to other country, to begin to fill those countries with money? So if a man in Taraba or a man in Cross River will become the president of Nigeria tomorrow, and he has cousins who also live in Cameroon, doesn't mean we should take our money and take it Qatar to Cameroon? What body language is the president trying to interpret to us? What example is the president trying to set for us? That he do not care about this nation, he care more about Niger. The only excuse they gave why that money was given out to Niger is that since Niger is a neighboring country, the insecurity threat of Niger will create more fear in Nigerian landscape. Is Nigeria already security threat already? Why is it this security threat? We have not resolved our issues. We are not trying to help Niger. We are very much aware that the Kanuris, the Fulanis, and the Hausa, to some extent have a traceable lineage to Niger, which the president have over time agreed that is from. There is 5 cousins are from there. So is that an excuse to give such amount of money to Niger? I don't think we should be doing Father Christmas celebration this time. Right. Nigeria needed to concentrate on the whole problem and see how to resolve the issue. Giving such money to Niger was unnecessary and it was uncalled for.
When I talk about Nigeria-Nigerian relationship, don't forget the president of Niger, presented an award, gave a medal to one of our governors for tackling insecurity. After all, we share a common border with Niger. I don't think it justifies the amount of money given to them. Talk about security. After all, if your borders are secured, then you can heave a sigh of relief on a particular side of the country. Doc?
No, I don't agree with you, my brother. It's to correct that award is 6 Nigerians they gave award, 2 governors with Dangote and others.
This Niger Republic president giving them an award. I mean that should be a plus.
For facilitating that the Father Christmas booty. What annoys us most is that insecurity is punching us in the face. And who are those people giving us insecurity? They are from the Niger Republic. Even the president says so. Even of yesterday also, he still mentioned that they are from
Niger. But giving them that money, I think you solve that aspect of it.
They are here killing us, maiming us, putting us in this confucial position. See, our farmers cannot go to access their farms again. About 16 communities have been given away. I said it in the press conference last week. Nothing happens. They are still flushing into our country, in droves. But alas, our president doesn't look at that side. He only cornered himself with Niger. Do you know that we in the south here, we don't have a railway from Benin to Porta to any other places? But to our own surprise, our president has done rail line to Niger, Mararadi in Niger. What is the economic value? When we here, we are suffering. See how many days they blocked Saple Road last time because of unpassable roads. But this president will never come across him before. This one is in fact.
But he's doing his best.
His best is not enough. It's even worse. So it seems as if they put it on our head to punish us, just like the Bible, Rehoboam and Jeroboam. You see. So what I'm saying in essence is that this president, he knows what he's doing. The more we look, the less we see. All these things that is happening since his regime, it has been, it was something they've planned ever before he became the president. So that they want to take over this place. And do you know that Niger indigenous, they've been coming in droves to come and register for this election something, PVC. They've been coming in thousands. So what I'm saying is that the president that we are having is not of Nigeria of origin.
Well, that is your own comment, which is not correct, because you have to be from Nigeria to rule Nigeria. I wouldn't want to work with conspiracy theory.
DNA, you will know that it's not from this country.
Anyway,
I'm asking him to look at the suffering of the masses. The students are at home, no business, no work. And then we see the person doling out that 1 point something billion. If he invests it on food production, I don't think we will be in this type of situation. So we want him to please look further.
Still talking about Nigerian relationship. After all, it's good for us to have this kind of relationship with our neighbors for things to move smoothly. But we're talking about insurgency. According to what you rightly said, they're coming from that channel. Giving out this money to the Nigerian government to purchase SUV, they mentioned security specifically. Don't think it will go a long way to help us out here. We'll talk about the fight against insecurity. Ojo.
Thank you very much. I'll add to what Dr. said just now. He said Buhari, like he was just, it's as if they brought him to punish us.
Well, according to him, that's what his intention.
The truth is, I'm happy Buhari happened in my time. I'm happy Buhari ruled this country in my time, because if Buhari had not ruled this country, let's say before he died, a time would have come, people would start saying, the only person that could have fixed this nation was was General Buhari. That man was very tough, he was this and that. Now he has come and he has showed himself to us that there's nothing special about him. Now, talking about giving Niger Republic money to buy cars, not even armored tanks. These are SUVs. These are cars that I don't see anything security, anything that will make me understand that these cars were given to these people for security reasons. We also saw the other day, Debbie, or what was his name, the child president. He died at the war front. Those are countries that, if we are talking about countries that France insurgency, we talk about Chad. We saw how that president fought those terrorists to a standstill till he was killed. He was shot at the war front. Now, go back to Niger Republic. We are in this country. President Buhari, or should I say the presidency, will not be investing in Niger if he doesn't have any investment there. So sometimes when you have investment in somewhere, you want to protect it. Most of these things they are doing is, once they leave power, they will be benefiting when they leave power. Now you're telling us to our face that you gave a sovereign nation. This money is not, let's say, surplus. We are running a deficit budget. It's not a surplus budget like, okay, fine, we have too much. What will we do with this money? If you are not giving it to poor nations around us, that would be a problem. We have the security problems, which the security problems we even have in this country right now. I don't think they have half of it in Niger Republic. I don't know if you understand. We have our own problems. The other day I heard an AIG was shot in the leg. Yes, his ugly was killed. Now, if this person have this SUV, which I know those SUVs they'll be bulletproof. I don't think if that AIG have that SUV, what happened to him would have happened. But these people, they don't care. You see Nigerian government giving out, I'm not trying to belittle innocent vehicles. You see them giving out innocent vehicles to our military personnel, our generals, to be using. They may define it like as if it's a G-Wagon. But most times when you look at it, it's IVM. I'm not saying IVM is not a good car. But when it was time for you now to give neighboring countries, you started giving them Land Cruisers. Yes, SUVs. Which I know is, those 10 cars is worth 140 million naira per one. Yes. Now, we're talking about ASU strike. ASU has been on strike, let's say, about 6 months now. You don't even care. it's as if they don't care. Not that I feel pity for, I only feel pity for the students. I don't feel pity for the lecturers, because these same people on election day, we are talking about ASU strike. If election is to be conducted tomorrow, do you know professors and lecturers are the one that INEC will use on that very day?
That's right.
I don't know if you understand. And these same people are the people that they will use in rigging themselves in tomorrow. But now the presidency does not care. The Minister of Education does not care. There was the other minister the other day said Nigeria is broke. Nigeria is broke, but we have about 1.4 billion to dole out to neighboring countries.
Yeah, all right. So you just watch your emotions now, because emotions begin to take better part of you. Calm down, calm down. Like what you rightly said, we are broke as a nation.
Yes.
But we have 1.4 billion to give out to smaller nation.
Yes.
I mean, how can you really relate this? Because right now we're talking about relationship between Nigeria and Niger. Don't think the money given out to Niger will cement the Nigerian relationship.
Over time, when you take a critical political analysis and a closer microscopic view of the relationship between Nigeria and Niger, Niger have never benefited this country. Niger have never benefited the country. All we have only had for Niger over here is problem upon problem, and Nigeria to come to salvage the situation on ground. There is no economic benefit. So I wonder why they have to put railway from Nigeria to Niger.
You may not know, there might just be economic benefit that you are not aware of.
When they built up
we're talking about giving money, there must be a benefit somewhere.
Did you watch the comment of the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi? The comment was the Indian waters. He couldn't even defend that reason. He could not defend it while there was railway approved from Nigeria to Niger. Over time, Niger have never benefited this country. Is it in terms of military? Is it in terms of economy? Is it in terms of education? Just name it. So Nigeria have been a big brother to these people, but there is problem correctly. So that borrowing was that such amount of money was very, very unnecessary. There was no need to have done that at all. Let alone doing it with so much braggadociousness, with so much enthusiasm, and without. In fact, I think it is insulting to the sensitivity of Nigerians. You are telling Ojo Emefile not to be emotional. He should be emotional.
No,
Buhari was emotional.
He should calm down. He should calm down.
He's emotional because his first cousins are from Niger. And he has said it with so much impunity, without respect or regard for anybody as a part of a nation. It's very unfortunate. I think Nigeria got to a point where we need to take our destiny by ourselves. Where we need to take the bull by the horn. And we are gradually folding. It was affair.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that sometimes it's not easy to talk about Nigerian situation without getting emotional, but I want to please create the individuals to please watch your emotions. Just please calm down. Talking about what happened between Nigeria and Niger, still in the same issue of 1.4 billion, and of course our debt profile. Can one deduce that somewhere along the line, Nigeria cares so much about other countries that are placing the interests of other countries above ours as a nation? Doctor?
You are correct. The president we are having places more emphasis on outsider than we in Nigeria here. What for? According to this, my friend, maybe for his economic personal gain. Maybe after he will get something to sit back when he finishes his term. If it's not impeached, because we are working towards that, say that it should be impeached before he leaves.
And your brother said that someone said that is laughable. It's not going to happen according to many reports.
Miracle can happen. The masses that are suffering, their God will never sleep. He can do it. What you said.
Yes.
I don't see any rationale behind that giving. You borrow, then you give it to somebody. What is that reasonable enough? If you borrow that money and use it for the masses, you won't shout. But you carry the money in cash. Go and buy SUV, be enjoying. According to this, my friend, those vehicles are for pleasure. It's not armor tanks. It's not machine gun. Helicopter gun. What are they protecting? They are not protecting us. they are having their own problem over there. So we are at a loss. Well, this our president will regret.
Well, you can say you are, but many are not regretting.
The masses that are not
Many are not regretting. You may be regretting, but others may not be regretting because some persons are being favored in this dispensation.
There's a formula 001 that means no food in the morning, no food in the afternoon, only food
at night.
Maybe not gari, you drink in the evening. So we can't have 3 square meal a day, and our government, okay, do you think donors will come and give us money now? When they found that with the money they borrow us, we are just...
I was coming to the other than donors.
Sponsoring it on profitable venture. And nobody, it's only few people now. 6 people have been given award for facilitating that Father Christmas.
They never said it's because of the money.
The man said
they gave them money and award because of the fight against insecurity.
Who can fight against? Are they military? They were not.
But that was the reason.
Dangote, a military man, is a governor. Bagudu, a military man, and many of that like that. It's just for pleasure. It's not for any good for the country. So what I'm saying is that this money should be retrieved back. That's why it should be impeached if he refuses to bring our money back. Furthermore, was the money passed through the National Assembly? Did they approve it? So you are saying that because of his prerogative tendencies, it's not so. You can't do that where the country you are governing is in a serious turmoil, and you are doing that. It's not fair. So it should be impeached.
Anyway, well, the impeachment, according to many persons, will not be feasible because of the time, the duration. After all, it's almost over. Now, talking about salvaging our debts. He said something that with this act of Nigeria giving out money to Niger Republic, that donors and of course creditors to be very difficult to come to Nigerians' aid, either to cancel debts or to even give to Nigeria as a country. Do you think it's going to affect it?
Do you think the creditors they care? Look, take Sri Lanka for example. The other day, China took over their seaport. These creditors, they are also smart also. In fact, they want us to borrow everything so that nothing will be left. On one day, you just hear maybe Murtala Mohammed Airport has been taken over by maybe Chinese government or something.
We're going to talk about that place.
It happened in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
So now what I'm saying,
that's Sri Lanka, not Nigeria.
It happens in Zambia.
Zambia.
That's Zambia, not Nigeria.
That's what I'm saying. You don't even know our leaders. You don't know how these loans they are collecting. You don't know the collateral they use in getting those loans, sourcing for those loans. Now, let me talk about, like I said at first, borrowing money is not an issue. It's what you're using the money for. You know, we have the kind of leaders we have in this country. Sometimes I just ask myself if we're all created by the same God. Because we can't imagine a Nigerian government borrowing money to pay subsidy. A Nigerian government borrowing money not for financial, not for, at least even if they are borrowing those money for investing. Investing in refineries and all that. We have our seaports lying in the southern part of Nigeria. No one is working apart from the one in Lagos. But you see they're borrowing money on social infrastructure. Borrowing those money and building those infrastructure is not even the problem. They will still add federal characters to it. Now you see a presidency coming up with, okay, we are building about 10 roads. We have to. Now you build roads in desert area where people don't even stay. And you see in urban cities, or let's say in where you're supposed to invest those money in, whether in the next a year, 1 year or 2 years, you start getting returns because investors will start coming there. You won't invest there. You see a government building a railway from Nigeria to Maradi because they said they'll be bringing cattle. Why are we so concerned about cattle in this country? And we
apart from cattle, other goods also will come from Maradi.
That's what they said. But since the railway has been working, as our food prices gone down, In fact, it's even now the cattle and all those. They said they bringing. I think they produce beans in Niger also. They bring from there. They said at least they will be bringing it, and then the food prices will go down. But I can tell you now, it's even now our food prices has gone
skyrocketing.
Yes. Now we have a government whereby you borrow money for frivolities, things that don't even matter to you. Borrow money to give to your neighbors. Those people, they are also sovereign nations. They can borrow money. They can borrow money from the same place. They borrow money from. So you see, our leaders. Sometimes I ask myself if we came from the same place, just like we came from their own world.
All right. Well, how do we get out of this to call it a wrap on this segment, Barrister Gabriel? Because so much complaints, so much ventilation against the action of Mr. President. Some have even said they don't care about it because of what you're saying. Was the invested interest in the Nigeria Republic? What about Nigeria? After all, we should put Nigeria first, not other country first. So how do we get out of this?
Discussing the Nigeria problem is better sapping. It can make you run mad. It gets nothing. Just as he has said, when we wonder if our leaders are actually from this country, the basic interest of politics, as we all know, is interest. Politics is all about interest. And over time, our leaders have always played to that gallery or protected their interest. President Muhammadu Buhari, with due respect, can never deny that he doesn't have any personal interest in the Nigeria Republic.
Of course.
It is clear, his body language is saying that there must be something he has interest in that Nigeria Republic. Politicians that we know do not spend money on what will not benefit them. They may never spend their money on what does it give them value. So for our president to dish out such amount of money to a neighboring nation, where his own nation. So I ask, is President Buhari president of Nigeria or president of Nigeria? So look as if this country is winding up. Because I'm a lawyer. We were taught in incorporated trustee, sir, that when an incorporated trustee is winding up, the remaining fund and the rest, he will put them together and transfer it to other incorporated trustees or similar nature. So it's like that is what is out there. I'm sure that is what they are trying to do now. Since Nigeria is winding up, so they are trying to gather the remaining assets and give it to neighboring country, which is Nigeria. We'll not be surprised one day our creditors will come and say that they are taking over our seaport, our airport, our schools, because we are owing them. And do you know how much we are borrowing for China? Between 2021 to this time, do you know how much we are borrowing for China? They are running to billions that we are borrowing, billions of dollars that we are borrowing for China. And China have not even said anything. China have not disturbed us. China is just looking at us. They are just looking until when the time is right for them to wake up. There is no two ways about it.
All right.
Because in the home must pay.
Must pay.
Nigeria is owing debt. We must pay. Whether we are giving money to China or we are giving to Nigeria, we are giving to Cameroon, they do not care. And when the time comes, we must pay. So it's a general problem that all of us will face as a nation. And it is most unfortunate.
Thank you so much. And Doc, Samson Isibo, how do we get out of this? Because what is said is like, to him there's no solution. He said it's mental sapping to think about the problems.
Asking me to give a solution to the problem. If you give, the person you are giving a solution to will not take it. It's a deaf person.
Okay. You didn't mention them, so let's leave it at that. So you didn't mention them, yeah.
The three things he can do. One, he should look inward. There are so many opportunities in the country. Instead of running to abroad, it's laziness to go and be boring. See our refineries. None of them is working. Our universities are not working. Those people today have their own contribution to the economic value of this country. Then the farmers, the insecurity is number one. That's why I'm even calling on our governor. He should try to solve this insecurity. He should not be saying that he want to establish security,
Forest guard.
Forest guard for what? Do the same thing.
But
like
that is laudable.
It
is laudable.
Well, let us see it.
It's laudable.
Not that you say it by mouth. The people are suffering. That's why we don't have enough food in the state, because there's no food coming from
the hinterlands
to the urban area.
All right.
So the government should look at that one
and
solve it. Then our most high president should, as a matter of urgency, withdraw that money. So the money bought the SUV. Have they bought it? You see, which solution do you want for this?
There's always for security. They didn't use the money to buy bazooka. They didn't use the money to buy machine. They did not buy AK-47. They did not buy machine. Even lockout. They did not buy
Even he lost.
Thank you.
Well, we see us through. I think it remains how many months for him?
Thank you. Thank you.
We spare our lives to that time.
Gentlemen, thank you.
You said he would be impeached.
Well, the thing is that, talk about impeachment now will take very long procedure. That is like out of the table for now. According to Pundits, let's just watch and see what will happen. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We have another segment to take care of in this show. Well, you've heard them. They're not really happy about this. No, they're not happy about this. They're asking this question: is our beloved president a Nigerian or a Nigerian? Which one is it? Because you get to hear real to Niger, you get to hear money to Niger, you get to hear this to Niger, that to Niger. What in the world is going on? Is he our president or the president of Niger Republic? That's a question we're asking. Even asking, is he a Nigerian or a Nigerian? These are questions left unanswered. But gentlemen, thank you so much for a wonderful analysis. So when I call on you next time, you're obliged. The comment is there. It's nothing to do with ITV, but talking about the nation, sometimes one just can't help but to get really, really emotional. We'll go on a break. When we return, we have our entertainer in the house. Yes, of Filter. You get to hear from him. After that, we hear from Higato Samuel on the security situation of the country. Don't go away. Just stay tuned.